Stephen Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live here. Israel has struck back in Gaza after Gaza yesterday sent in a rocket into southern Israel. The Israeli armed forces there have retaliated and struck back Hamas positions inside of Gaza. From what we're understanding, the campaign is continuing as well. It has not ceased. That's according to I-24 News, speaking on this very same issue that is going on there. There have been some reports as well in different news sources that there is a possibility that Hamas is preparing to do a war against Israel in the very coming weeks, days, whatever the case that may be. We'll just have to watch to see how that actually plays out. In other news, also in Israel and the Holy See officials meet in Jerusalem. This came out on January the 19th, 2017. Of course, it's kind of already passed. It's not brand new news by no means, but it's something that I wanted to bring to your attention because I was unaware of it at the time. There was someone that sent this to my wife in an email. I apologize, I do not know who that actually was, but I want to thank the person that did send it to us there. And the reason being for me, the reason why this is a major issue, this is a continuation of the 1993 agreement that the Vatican made with the Israeli government at that time. I remember back years ago when this first came out, I could not help but think of Daniel's 70 weeks and of course the covenant that would be made with many there and being made with Israel. And there's different ways that we can look at Daniel's prophecy when we begin to think of the 7-year covenant as often as this is regards to. That could have all types of prophetic fulfillment there. Recently, a friend of mine sent me a message saying, could that even be the covenant that God made with mankind, being 7 years or 7,000 years? There's all kinds of possibilities, but the one thing that we do see is that there is going to be a covenant made with Israel. And the Vatican has been very much spearheading, trying to make this covenant come to a reality. And of course, this is what I begin to look at when I think about the Antichrist spirit moving in and what will actually happen once they finalize their agreement. In the agreement, one of the things that's noted here, without prejudice to the rights relied upon by the parties, it states the Holy See and the State of Israel will negotiate in good faith a comprehensive agreement containing solutions acceptable to both parties on unclear, unsettled, and disputed issues concerning property, economic solutions acceptable to both parties on, economic and fiscal matters relating to the Catholic Church generally or to specific Catholic communities or institutions. It's just a bit concerning to me on what this real negotiations are all about. And of those of you that already know, we've covered not too long ago, we went to Israel, we were covering the Mekodeshit. This is the engagement or the espousal where the three different monotheistic religions came together. The Islam, the Christian and Jewish faith came together in a ceremony of repentance, clearly trying to fulfill biblical prophecy, both in Daniel chapter 11 and even that of Daniel chapter 9. So I'm just really concerned about this type of agreement here and what is the real intentions to begin with. Also, the Middle East Eye is reporting, as well as a number of other articles are coming out already about the Turkish-backed rebels' clash with the Syrian forces near Al-Bab. That actually happened yesterday inside of Syria there, Al-Bab, just south of that position there. The Free Syrian Army, who's being backed by the Turkish government right now, came into started a clash with the Syrian army by using mortars and small arms fire at the Syrian army. Well, the Syrian army didn't take that too lightly, and they retaliated and began to advance on their positions there. According to the article here, it says the Syrian military said terrorist groups that belonged to Turkey were responsible for the violence which killed 22 government soldiers. Does say that the Free Syrian Army did not release the number of dead or casualties that they had in the clash there. But again, it seems to put President Putin in a very awkward position. He is backing President Bashar al-Assad, keeping him in power and backing, of course, the Syrian army. At the same time, he has built a strong alliance with Erdogan, the very man that turned his back and downed one of Russia's bombers only a little over a year ago. Where does this put him at when he sees the clashes between Turkey and Syria? I know it puts it in a very awkward position. Spoke privately with one of RT's reporters there, won't call his name, but he shared with me that the stakes would be much higher for Russia to get into a clash with Turkey directly. And this is one reason why you see Putin trying to avoid any clashes with Turkey. But nonetheless, he said the skirmishes continue on the ground between Turkey and Syria. And of course, Bashar al-Assad promising to take back all the land that Turkey has conquered against ISIS to begin with, which it does seem even more hypocritical, seeing we know that there is enough evidence, especially under Aaron Erdem, that Turkey was the very sponsor of ISIS in the first place, right along with President Barack Hussein Obama. Nothing but a mess. Also, Fars News reporting on the same thing. Syrian army comes to lay siege on Turkish soldiers in East Aleppo. They had covered that as well. Russian diplomats. This article here I saw on Twitter, and very interesting. Axios.com. Russian diplomats keep dying unexpectedly. And we did a report on this just recently, how 4 Russian diplomats have died in the last, I think it was the last 2 months there. I had no idea that there were a total of 6 that have died in the last 6 months. According to the article, Russian diplomats keep dying unexpectedly. Shows President Putin there on a snowy day, a very somber day at one of the funerals there. But just want to quickly run over this again, because I'm sure if President Donald Trump had this many diplomats of America die from around the world, he'd probably be raising some eyebrows and really start doing an internal investigation about what's going on. But we have, of course, Andrei Karlov, everybody knows, was assassinated in Ankara on December the 19th. On the same day, another diplomat, Peter Poloshkov, was shot dead in a Moscow apartment. And of course, we have the Russian ambassador to the United States, Vitaly Churkin, who died of an apparent heart attack just the other day. Russian ambassador to India, Alexander Kadikin, died after a brief illness on January the 27th. And by the way, there was no evidence of heart trouble in his life. He was 67. Of course, he's starting to get up in a little bit of an age and everything, and no doubt a stressful job. I take all this into account. But he died of a heart attack. But one that was really kind of odd was Andrei Malanin. Andrei Malanin, 54 years old, excellent condition from what all of his colleagues said. He died unexpectedly in Greece, and yet the police said there was no sign of a break-in. Just really, something's too odd about this. On the morning of the U.S. election day, Russian diplomat Sergei Krivov was found unconscious at a Russian consulate in New York and died on the scene. Initial reports said that Krivov fell from the roof and had a blunt force injuries, but the Russian officials said he died from a heart attack. Reports Krivov may have been a consular duty commander, which would have put him in charge of preventing sabotage or espionage. Then we have the ex-KGB chief, Oleg Arvenikin, who's suspected of helping draft the Trump dossier. He was found dead in the back of his car December the 26th, according to the Telegraph, and also was an aide to the former Deputy Prime Minister Igor Sitchin. Just too many odd things. I mean, I don't know. If I was Vladimir Putin, I just wouldn't be sweeping all this under the rug. Well, in case maybe there's something on the other side causing all of these deaths, which I highly, highly doubt. This right here was actually posted from the Vigilant Christian, from their YouTube channel. It's posted by Paul Joseph Watson on Twitter here. I want you to see this. This is very, very concerning what you're going to see here on this video here. This is the Islamic movement. It is a march that was being done inside of Britain just recently here. They are marching and chanting the death to the Jews, death to the imperialistic nation, speaking about America. They are vowing to take over America as well as Great Britain. And then people begin to wonder why Donald Trump, President of the United States, has banned certain migrants from coming in or refugees coming in from certain countries. And again, his ban is a temporary ban. I didn't say that I'm actually for the idea of doing the ban. I'm sure there could be other ways that these things could be dealt with that might be a little bit more friendly, because no doubt there's some people that need to get out of these countries that are being caught up in this travel ban. But I understand why the president is doing so, especially when we look at what happens here in the UK, running through the street with flags that look like ISIS flags, and they have on their banner, you know, the followers of Muhammad will conquer America. Well, hello, does anybody got any reason, wonder why then President Trump has done this ban? It only kind of makes sense why he would consider it anyway, or actually try to do it, that is. Moving right along, just one little final note right here. I thought this was rather kind of humorous. This is, as we know, the White Helmets have won their Oscar in Hollywood the other night, and I think Vanessa Beeley was one of the ones that made the comment that stated, you know, yes, they did win an Oscar and they deserved it because they're great actors, pretenders. Because this is a prime example, the photo on your screen here, of why so many people like Vanessa Beeley, been on the ground there in Syria, in Aleppo, knows it firsthand, interviewed the people. Ava Bartlett, another incredible journalist there, always on the ground in Syria quite often there, that know for a fact that the White Helmets, many of their members have been participants among the Al-Qaeda. They've been involved in terrorist activities. They've been involved in beheading a child in one case, a boy that was about 13 years old. And yet these are the poster children in America now for winning their Oscar. Even Netflix, wow, they had to put it on there as well. You know, it's just really sad to see this. And of course, just so you can see this guy a little bit better there, he's with the Al-Qaeda members there. Oh, sorry, I got it blowed up as big as I could. Sorry about that. But he's right there. Rinko Ivanov is the one that actually posted this on his Twitter account. I'm Stephen Benoon. You're watching Israeli News Live. Thank you for those of you that have been helping us to achieve our goals for the Israeli trip. We do want to thank you for that. Your contributions have been a vital part of the work we're doing in Israel. I'm Stephen Benoon. Don't forget, March the 28th. Email me if you would like, stephenbenoon@aol.com, and we will send you the link where you can register to be a part of that, because seats are moving rather quickly. Shalom.